Hello everyone, Zelrinth here, and sorry for being out for the last couple days. I've been a little bit sick, but I'm still getting over it a little bit. But I'm trying to catch up on the videos, especially with Sword of Convalaria and Ash Echoes. But I thought today I'd do something a little bit different since, well, over the days I've been sick, they've been announced the drip marketing for the 3.0 units in Honkai Star Rail. And in my live streams, I know that I've had a lot of people that have talked about Honkai Star Rail while we're playing other games. So it seems like a good chunk of my audience plays it, so I thought I'd try and make some content on it. I don't know how much I'll want to go into it, but I was thinking on the release of 3.0, that'd be a good starting point for me to kind of go into it, kind of look at the units as they're coming out, give my opinions on how they'll work based on current units people have. And then I thought in this one, I'll kind of look over what's coming next, as well as in kind of give an overview of my entire account, since I've never actually shown it on stream or in my videos yet. But first, we'll go ahead and take a look at the units coming out. The first one being the Herda. So she's going to be the actual Herda, not the 4-star that we got at the beginning of the game that was a puppet of hers. And so she is going to be an Ice-type Erudition unit, and I am absolutely 100% going to be pulling for her. And we'll see when we look at my account, but I do not have any 5-star Erudition units. Pure Fiction has been easy enough for me to get by with my current units. But as they've been increasing that difficulty, it's gotten harder and harder. I've kind of been a little bit relaxed on my pulls lately, kind of just saving up currency for big units. I've built my account mostly around Firefly and Akron, so I've got them as my main two teams that kind of covers everything. Plus, I also have the Dot team with Kafka and Black Swan, and so they're usually on one side of Pure Fiction for me. But as it's gotten harder and harder, it's becoming more difficult for me to max that one out. While Apocalypse and Mach have not been a problem at all for me. But so she's going to be an absolute must pick up for me just because she'll be really good coverage with Pure Fiction. And then we have the next one coming up, which is going to be Anglia. I'm terrible at pronunciation, but I think it's Anglia. At least that's what I think I've heard from other YouTubers. And she is a new branch or new path of Remembrance. And she is a lightning type. Now, for me, I have Akron and I have Kafka. So I'm probably going to skip her, especially being the first of the Remembrance, which depending on how well they did with it, she's either going to be really strong or she's going to be really weak in terms of future Remembrance units. But the big thing for I've seen on these is they are going to deal with summons, and so we've already kind of got a little bit of that taste of that with some of the other units that have summons. So we have like Lingshaw's kind of been the biggest one recently, but these ones are going to have actual summons that actually have health pools that'll fight alongside you. And we've seen that with a mini game with the trash can in it. And so it'll be an interesting mechanic. We'll kind of have to see with her kit and how it comes out. Now, I do tend to look at leaks, but I'm not going to actually discuss them. But they do change throughout anyway, all the way up until release. So we don't actually know how she's going to shape up until the end. But we just know that there are going to be units that can fight on the field. And so I'm most likely going to skip her because I don't really need lightning, and I'm going to go all in on Herda. And so be probably an easy skip for me, but we'll kind of see from there. And then the other one we have is the Trailblazer that is Remembrance. And if the Remembrance Trailblazer is anything like the Harmony one, it's going to be a must-have with the Remembrance path or the builds. Hopefully that's not the case, because she's really key, especially in the Firefly team like I have. And one thing that we could be seeing with it is if it is key for your Remembrance teams to have the Trailblazer, then that makes it more likely that you're going to want to pull the 5-star Ting Young coming up on the next release, just because you're not going to be able to use your Firefly and your Remembrance teams at the same time if they both need the Trailblazer. So we'll kind of have to see how that shakes up. I haven't decided if I'm going to pull the Ting Young or not yet. I will be getting Sunday, just because he is going to be the key Harmony with the Remembrance teams. But I will be getting him for sure, and we'll just kind of have to see how my luck pulls out with him on what I do on the Ting Young, because I definitely want to get Herda. And then there's also future units that are going to be coming out, and I've been getting light cones in all my units, so that's going to be even more pulls. So just kind of have to see from there and see how the Trailblazer shakes up. But okay, so that kind of covers the new units. Let's go ahead and take a look at my account now and what I currently am working with. All right, we are in the game here. And so we'll go ahead and just open up my characters here. This is just going to be a quick look at what I have going on with my account. So we'll go ahead and see. So we look at the very top. So the first person I have is Jaiq or JQ. And main reason I got him and I got his light cone was for my Acheron team. And one of the big things is right after I got Acheron, I started looking at getting the light cones for all the units. So I'm going towards more building my account tall now versus building it wide, as my account is pretty set and able to pretty much handle anything. So now I'd rather just invest in the characters I like the most versus trying to get more characters to cover everything. So I pretty much have everything covered in the game at this point with my current teams. And so I'm just trying to min-max at this point or get the best of my favorite unit. So I got him, got his light cone. I've got Acheron, got her light cone. I mean, she was a must-have on the light cone. Now, I was originally going to try and go for her E2. I've just decided against it at this point. I know we're getting more nihilities in the future. Hopefully we can get one that really can replace that Pella spot. Right now, what I like to do though with JQ, since he does have a dot, instead of using Pella, I tend to use my Black Swan. So I do have Black Swan's light cone. And even though I believe Pella's still better, I prefer it this way, using my 5-star over Pella. And so she's my other one that I use in my Acheron team. And everything's to work pretty well with them. It's even nicer when I do Divergent Universe, because then the nihility buffs that I get in there actually go a lot better towards buffing her versus using Pella. And then I actually just got Adventurine on the rerun. I originally had skipped him because there was originally leaks on JQ that he may have a heal in his kit, but they dropped that. And so then I got Adventurine now, got his light cone. His light cone is super important for the Acheron team because it allows his follow-up to do debuffs. And so my Acheron team is nice and solid with the top group here. Then I do have a Clara, just gotten that from Lost 50/50s, no big deal there. And then I got the Firefly, the premium Firefly team. So I have Firefly, I have her light cone. I did not actually get her first Eidolon, which everybody says was so good. And right now it's just, I kind of still wanting to build a little bit wide. I don't want to go heavily into Eidolons yet, just because, I mean, that's one unit down the road, and I want to always make sure I'm at least trying to keep up with meta to a certain extent. And I do have Ruan Mei, and she was the only one that I ended up getting an Eidolon on, and it's been really useful, but it's not been game breaking, and it's kind of another reason why I haven't really shot for him yet at this point. I did get Jing Liu early on. I don't really use her anymore. I do have her light cone, but she is my premium ice DPS at this point. But I haven't really needed her even for ice only weak enemies, because both Acheron and Firefly have ways. Acheron can ignore weakness type, and Firefly implant, so I really haven't had the need for Jing Liu. So she's just kind of been power creeped, and so I don't really use her anymore, but still really good. I mean, if there's ever any content that she's good for, I can always use her. I have Kafka. Do not have her light cone, but I do use her alongside Black Swan for my, and Ho-Ho for my premium dot team. And then I do have Ruan Mei, who I can use alongside them. But if there is a reason that I am using them and Firefly alongside it, I always can like throw in JQ into the team. I haven't really had the need to do that though, because usually when I'm doing pure fiction, if I'm going with the Kafka, the Kafka Black Swan side of things, I usually bring Acheron, because Acheron works really good in pure fiction alongside that team, because she can be a wave clear, then the dots can clear a wave, and they just kind of go back and forth, and they do work really well together. So I have that. I have Blade. He's been kind of he was like one of the first ones I got. Kind of regret getting him, because I haven't really used him much at all, except at the very beginning when I got him. But I do have him. I have Branya, of course, and I have her, I think, Eidolon. I have the first Eidolon because she's the one I picked for the selector. I have Sparkle, and in Sparkle I got her specifically for my Imbibitor Lunae, which I have. Then I have Fushuan, which is still a really good tank, but now that I have Adventurine, I have Ho-Ho. I mean, I haven't really had to use her much unless I need to be able to take heavy hits and spread them, give it to someone that can take it a lot better. But Adventurine's shields are just that much better, plus works really well with my Acheron side of things. Silverwolf, I haven't really had to use her too much either. She works good with Acheron and single target. Other than that, I'd got her in the beginning. She was really good in the beginning, but I haven't really had to use her since then. Got my Harmony Trailblazer, of course, for Firefly, and Imbibitor Lunae, and then I have Welt. And then I actually have some others. I have Topaz, I haven't ever really used her. I originally got her thinking I was going to get heavy into the follow-up, and it just never panned out because after I got Acheron, I decided, oh, I'm just going to skip follow-up and just say, okay, Topaz was a bad pull. Because I wanted to make sure I could get JQ, and then they nerfed him a lot, and so it kind of hurt me in the long run. And I should have pulled for Fei Shao, but I did not. But I may, depending on what comes up, I may get her on rerun, and then that'll give my Topaz some use because she works really well with her. We'll kind of have to see there. So I haven't really leveled her, done much with her. Same with Bailu. I haven't really had a need for her. Haven't really used Dr. Ratio because of the follow-up. I haven't really invested into it. I have Gepard, and I'm actually just looking. I'm surprised I didn't. I thought I did take him all the way to 80. He was originally who I kind of used alongside Fu Shuao, depending on the content, because he was really good at being able to put some debuffs on for Acheron. I have Yang King, haven't ever used him, I've only leveled him up to get his pulls off of him. And then I do have Robin, I do intend to level her up and use her, it's just she doesn't fit in any of my current teams, but from what I can tell, I will probably be able to use her with like Herta and that. And so I did pull her on the rerun, I did skip her originally because I was skipping follow-ups, but I definitely got her on the rerun, and I will be getting her built up for my future teams. But that is a quick look at my account. And so when it looks at future units coming up, now we have Sunday and the 5-star Ting Young coming up. I am getting Sunday for sure. The 5-star Ting Young kind of depend. We'll have to see how my luck is with Sunday first. And the reason for that is kind of looking at what I have for pulls. I have 32,000 here, so I can probably guarantee one unit with this if I'm really unlucky, because so that's, I think that's 200 pulls. So if I'm really, really unlucky, I'm going to blow through that in one go. And so that's my Sunday guarantee right there. I have that, and I think I have about another 100 pulls here. You count this currency. Yeah, so you get 10 for 200. Yeah, so actually not quite 100, but I still have, what, 70 pulls there? So that's a pity's worth. So yeah, I'm pretty tight on pulls. I haven't done all of the content on this release yet, so I'm going to get pulls from that. After all the way through Sundays, I'll get pulls from that, and then depending on my luck, I am going for Herta, and I am going for Herta's Light Cone. And then after that, it just depends on where I'm at on pulls, and we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, that's just kind of a quick look at my account. I am going to... I don't know if I'll do anything with the next release with Sunday. I might just do the pulls. But I kind of want to start doing content on Honkai Star Rail on the 3.0 release. And if I do anything earlier than that, I will. But I for sure want to start on 3.0. But yeah, that's just a quick look at my account. And if you like my content, you could like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps. And thanks for watching.